Hello there. Welcome to Metal Truck Canada. Okay, I'm going straight through without stopping Revelstoke. So I'm going to take the coat off. And get ready to go. Hee hee. Alrighty then. Let's walk and wall. Walk and wall. Set. Ooh, getting busy out. This is a big hill. -2 up here. See, it's starting to get frosty on the roads. And we made it to the top. Sorrento 17, Salmon Arm 48. And I think it's like 100 and something to Revelstoke from here. Here we go. Cruise control set to 90. Going down, it's a big hill here. But I got my Jake on. And that's total difference between a standard and automatic. With automatics, you can't run your Jake brake with the cruise control. It won't work. By the time you're at the bottom, especially on hills, by the time you're at the bottom of the hill, you'll be doing 140. Whereas with this standard, I can run my Jake brake on hills and it just automatically slows me down. With the cruise control, keeps me at 90, pretty accurate. Might go up to 91, 92 occasionally on steep hills. However, for the most part, it'll keep you right at 90, which I like. Dinner, he wants to get that close to my butt. You know he's close when you can't see their headlights. Like, I know he's there, but I can't see him. Many spots for passing. There's one coming up here, so if he's gonna go, he better go. Ah, no, there's cars. He could still make it. Oh no. Oh, he's going for it. I made it. That's a Tesla. Jeez, a little Nazi scout car. I don't care what anyone said. Elon Musk did the Nazi salute. That wasn't a Roman salute from 2,000 years ago. That was a Nazi salute from 100 years ago. Or less, actually, I guess, right? Or close. Yeah, because it was like, what, 1930-something? The Nazis came to power. Catcher. You mean skin walker? You're not supposed to talk about that, especially as native people. Because they're real. And this time of year, especially with native people, you won't find us eating outside at nighttime, because that's just, like when the salmon die this time of year. It's the death is in the air, and you don't want to eat outside at night, because you'll get spirits attaching themselves to you, or trying to, or you'll attract attention, I guess, is more what I'm saying you don't want. I see you got an automatic. Tesla sure made it far. Pass. Got like 10 seconds in front of me. I was gonna do that this weekend. I just got super busy. I was gonna do the text to speech, so I can hear you guys commenting. why before I could play YouTube music and live stream, and then I clicked on something and now it won't let me. And I've gone through the settings, tried to fix it so I can play music. I got copyrighted a few times. However, like there's the guys that do the reaction videos, so I don't know if they pause it, like you're allowed 30 seconds or like 40 seconds or something without a copyright violation. So I don't know if that's what they're doing, is they're pausing it. They watch videos and talk about the music and then do their commentary. That's kind of what I wanted to do on this channel, is while I'm driving I wanted to play whole albums, or at least like a playlist of different various songs. And I've contacted YouTube about it. They directed me to the record companies, and I sent out a bunch of emails to various record companies about it. However, no one seems receptive to doing it. They all want money. Sure, if we talked the dollar amount, they'd be okay with it. Forget the name of this corner, but it's quite the significant corner. 60 clicks here, right straight ahead. That's the lake right beside us, Shuswap Lake. A fuel truck went over here years ago. I don't know how long ago, like 10, 15, 20, quite a while ago. A Westcan truck, and fully loaded with fuel, went straight over into the lake. He was going too fast, and that was $1 million for Westcan to clean that up. They had to pull the truck out. They had to suck all the fuel out onto a barge with tanks, and then they had to hoist the tank and truck out. It's a huge process. Yeah, $1 million. They survived after that, and they got fined from the government as well, on top of what it cost to clean it up. But they did. I guess it was some kind of write-off probably. Been driving most of my life. I'm 55. In the 80s, I quit high school to roof and do construction. I moved out of the house when I was in grade 9. Fully out this summer between grade 9 and grade 10. So I was fully out. But growing up, I grew up on a farm. When I was like 3-4 years old, we had 19 acres of hayfield. So I lost internet there. How rude. So anyways, I grew up driving tractor when I was 3-4 years old. Haying. My uncle would and my cousin would throw the bales on, and I'd drive the tractor with the wagon up and down the rows of hay. And then he was a truck driver. He hauled cattle. So when I was little, when I was like 5-6 years old, I'd back his truck up for him when I was real little. And then I worked on several ranches when I was a teenager, driving their hay truck, hauling hay around the ranches. I got my class 1 in 2017, carpenter by trade. When I hit 40, It just got too hard on the body doing carpentry. So in 2017, I was working in a sawmill, West Fraser Chasm, and we had the Elephant Hill wildfire. I was living in Cache Creek, and the sawmill was up by Clinton, in between Clinton and 70 Mile. So it was about an hour drive to work, a little over. And when we had the fire, the highway was closed. You couldn't get through to the sawmill. So I went to EI. They put us all on EI. I went to EI and I said, no one knows, the mill might burn. There's a fire's right there. Can I get retraining? So they approved me to get training, the government of Canada, through employment insurance. So in 2017, I got my class 1, and I got really lucky because I was aggressively sending my resume out to all sorts of places, and there was a place, Sands Bulk, in Kamloops, and I bugged the guy so much. I called him twice a week. The owner, I bugged him so much, he told the foreman to hire me. And so I fueled trains at the CN yard for 2 years. So I had my TDG, and I was getting my license to fuel gas stations. And then there was a small downturn, so that was like going just about to 2020, and there was a downturn, so I ended up going and I worked for Trimac for 2 years after that, loading rail cars, granules for IG fibers, so roofing granules where they make the shingles. There's that hard rock on there, so I was hauling that in Ashcroft down to the rail yard. I did that for 2 years, and then I went to work for who was it at that time? I forget who I went to work for after that. It was Westcan? Yeah, it was Westcan Disposal. So I got a job in Cache Creek at the landfill. I was hauling B trains from Cache Creek to Chilliwack, unloaded, and then I pick up loaded B trains that are full of garbage, and I drive them back to Cache Creek. And I was doing that 6 days a week. And then they had me go on the run up the hill to the dump onto the tipper. So you got to drive the B trains up the hill, separate them, and then back onto a tipper. And I hated that. Being in the landfill, it was gross. So I did that for a year, I guess, a little over a year. And then I got a job hauling fuel for Westcan. So I did that for over a year, fueling gas stations all around BC. And then I went to work for Aero Transport, which is a pretty big company. And I worked for them briefly, only 3 months. I was doing the run from Mount Polley, which is up by Williams Lake, down to North Vancouver, hauling mining ore from Mount Polley, and then bringing mining materials back up and dropping off. And that was good. I liked it. And then a bunch of guys quit in Ashcroft from the bio. So what they call bio, they haul human shit. So they have these trailers. You go into Kamloops and you load at the Kamloops. It's for the city of Kamloops. They take all the human shit and they send it to Princeton and they turn it into dirt. And so you have trailers. It's disgusting. Like when the trailers are loaded, it's like turds. Like when it's flowing into your trailer, because it's pretty much shit. Like it's shit, right? And it just reeks. So I did the Mount Polley run for them for a couple weeks, and some guys quit, so they put me on the bio. There was no other work, and so I did that for go to Kamloops to Princeton, and you got to separate your trailers. So you're walking out of your trailer, and you have a PTO you got to engage to lift your trailers up, to dump the stuff out. And it's like a giant turd coming out of your trailer. It was so gross. So you got it all over your boots, and you got to go in and out of your truck like 4 or 5 times, because you got to back your one trailer up, and then you get out, and then you lift up the trailer, and then you put it down, and then you unhook. So you got to go in and out of your truck to turn your PTO on and off, and then you separate your trailer back up, and then same thing, you got to go in and out of your truck to turn your PTO on and off. And so you got human shit all over the interior of your truck, on the floorboards, on the pedals, and I tried everything. I put stuff down on the floor. I had like wipes. I've got baby wipes, and I was wiping the pedals and everything. And you're living in your truck, so that job was 4 on, 4 off. So you live in your truck for 4 days, and it just smells like shit the whole 4 days. It was horrible. It was the worst job ever. And then so you go Princeton to Richmond, right by the airport, Iona Island, and you load up with more human shit from the waste treatment plant on Iona Island, and then you run from Richmond straight up to Kamloops to this place called Blackwell Dairy, and you dump it there. And there's other places, ranches take it. There's the OK Ranch out of Clinton, west of Clinton. He takes loads. He takes loads. He gets about $1,000 a load to dump the human shit on his property. So a lot of people were mad about that because one of the trucks went in the creek, went into Big Bar Creek, and just ruined it. Now it's all full of algae and everything because all the human shit that was let loose in there. And it's bad. It's got to be bad for the environment. But that's what the government's doing. So I did that for like 3 months, and I couldn't stand it. I was going nuts. And then I hauled lumber I got another job with another company for a couple months, and I was hauling lumber from Lavington outside of Vernon down to Suyas, and then down into the States to Salt Lake City. And I did that for a little over a month, and the money just wasn't there because I was getting paid per trip. So I'd get paid to bring a load down, which was $300 to bring the load to Salt Lake City. And then if he had something for me to pick up, I'd get paid coming back. But if I was coming back unloaded, I wouldn't get paid. So it was basically $150 to do like a 2-day drive down to Salt Lake City and back. $150 each way, and that's just not worth it, right? Like, that's for the amount of kilometers you're doing. I wasn't making any money, so I was losing money at that job. So I did that for a month, and then I took a job hauling groceries in Kelowna. So I did that for a year, hauling groceries, bulk groceries with Papasan. So we had lift gates and power jacks. So we do the KFC, Shopper Drug Smarts, a bunch of meat stores, a bunch of stores, restaurants. And I was due for 6 months or 7 months, I did the Kamloops run. So I'd load in Kelowna, drive to Vernon, I'd unload at Fresco, all their chicken, and then I'd go to Safeway and unload all their seafood. And then I'd drive to Kamloops and I'd do the KFC, Shoppers Drug Marts, and a bunch of other restaurants in Kamloops. And then drive back. And then I did that 3 days a week. And then 2 days. And then a guy quit and he put me on the coot. And that was 6 days a week. And so I'd go from Kelowna to Grand Forks, Tim Hortons, and a pet store, and then Castlegar, Safeway, Tim Hortons, and then I'd go to Nelson or Trail, and the same thing. It's Tim Hortons and other stores, feed stores, and other places. kids my night and then drop them off at school on Monday, and then I'd go back to Kelowna for work Tuesday. And then on the Kootenay run, I couldn't do it because my day off on the Saturday, I was driving back from Castlegar. So it was stupid. So I kept telling my boss, I'm gonna quit, right? I'm gonna quit. He didn't believe me, and he wouldn't take me off the run. They hired a new guy who just got his driver's license, just got his class 1, and then put him on the my old run. Because the Kootenay run, it's a long distance. There's a lot of hills and a lot of hazards, a lot of stuff to deal with. So that's why I got it, because this is my 7th year, I guess my 7th year driving. Let's see what it says. Oh, it's my 8th year driving. Full time. So 8 years driving, 0 accidents, knock on molded plastic, or knock on my forehead because it's wood, right? You gotta knock on wood. But this time of year I drive the speed limit. Once there's snow on the road, I'm 10 kilometers under the speed limit to 20, depending upon the conditions. Like if it's blizzarding and you have low visibility, I'll be like 30 kilometers under the speed limit. You get vehicles, trucks and stuff, and even semis losing their shit because I'm driving so slow. But I'm like, look man, I'm not driving in the ditch. I don't care, right? I'm not driving in the ditch. I'm not gonna get in an accident or cause an accident or anything, right? I drive to the conditions. There's a construction zone we're going through. It's going to be 4 lanes all the way through. And they're putting a new bridge in up here, which will be good, but then it's going to take forever. They're blasting out the mountain up top. We're going to be heading up the hill here. They're taking a massive chunk out of the mountain to make it into 4 lanes up there. And then it'll go down to 2 lanes and bottleneck. That guy's doing about 80. This guy's doing about 80. You kind of get to see speeds after you drive long enough. You can see who's doing speed limit and not who's not. Here we got a chicane. If anyone follows racing, they know what a chicane is. It's that turny, lefty righty thing. I just got my cruise control on, and that's the thing, in the wintertime when it's snowy out, you can't use your cruise control, and you're not supposed to use your jake brake, because you can jackknife using both of them or a combination of them. You see some of the videos of people there's that one truck in the heavy rain, he's got his jake brake on, and so it downshifts him too fast, and then he probably tapped his brakes and it just snaps his nose around. That's the thing with semis in the snow. If you're going around a corner and you hit your brakes, you'll go straight, like you won't turn, so you gotta feather your gas. So you have your foot on the gas, and then you let off the gas, and whichever way your steering wheel is pointed, it'll push you in that direction. That's something a lot of truck drivers don't know. They just have to experience. You feather your gas around the corner as you're going around, and it'll knock your nose over. Because when there's heavy snow, it just wants to push you straight. That guy sure picked up the pace. I was catching up to him. The guy in front of semi, now he's gone. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's doing about 80. But if he's loaded, he got to get speed for the hill. We got this hill here. Like I'm speed 5. I'm governed. I can't go over. And a lot of vehicles now are governed at 105, but there's a lot that aren't. The companies are supposed to all have their vehicles covered at 105, and you get cheaper insurance, or they used to, but it's law in Canada. But a lot of companies have it, because I'll be doing 100 and semis will be flying past me. There's Salmon Arm. Black part is the lake. And on the right side, that's the mountain that they're blasting out. Project. This is all going to be 4-lane, like 5 years when they're done. And the cops like to sit up here. So I got how many cars behind me? 3 cars behind me, but I don't care. I'm not getting a ticket. Fines are double in construction zones, and then with semis, they also fine you per kilometer that you're over. So I take it a lot more serious with semi-trucks. As professional drivers, you're held to a higher standard. And I look at it like I have to protect people from themselves lots of times. Because a lot of people, they just don't know how to drive. They think they know how to drive because they can steer and hit their gas and brake occasionally. But there's a lot of people that just don't know how to drive. This guy, he's got his tailgate open with shit falling out, strap hanging out. What a fucking douchebag. Douchebag. People that litter. That's my #1 pet peeve. Being native First Nations, so it's so disrespectful to the earth. Our Mother Earth. You gotta take care of it. Take care of her. If you don't, no one else will. It's a class 1. I guess, yeah, it's technically a CDL, but they just call it a class 1 in Canada. It's more the States, they call it CDL. There's different classes you can get. So you can get a class 3, which is good for buses and dump trucks. And then class 1 is for everything. And you could get a class 3 with air brakes endorsement, which is good to get. The class 1, you could drive anything with the class 1. So the biggest thing with driving is learning how the air brakes work. So when you take your air brakes endorsement, they'll have on the board in the classroom, they'll have all the components of the air brake laid out and how they work. And basically, you have your compressor that compresses the air in the air tanks, and then you have an air dryer, air tanks to air dryer, and the air dryer takes all the moisture out of the majority of the moisture out of the air, and then it goes to your brakes. So if you cut your brake line, or if the air goes out of your system, your brakes will lock up automatically. So that's what keeps your brakes open, is the air. So if you lose air, the brakes will lock, which happens quite a bit, and that's a problem, especially in the wintertime. You'll get trucks that the one tire, the air line to that tire will get severed, and that tire will stop spinning and lock up, but they might not notice, and that tire will catch on fire. So they won't notice. So that's how air brakes work. And it's power. It's like power brakes, sort of. And that's the biggest thing with semis. So that semi in front of us, if his airline were to get severed or something, then his trailer would lock up. And I mean, you know it, but sometimes with one tire, trucks will burn up because they don't know that their brakes are locked. And so far as driving, just do the speed limit. Always look out your windows. That's a big thing with getting your air brakes. Every 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, they want you checking your mirrors, looking out both sides. And it's just a lot of common sense, because semis, when you're fully loaded, a semi takes 4 times as long to stop as a car. So it all goes by speed and weight. So when that's doubled, it's like 4 times the stopping time of a car or a truck. And most of the guys, like the majority of these guys, they have special licenses. They have automatic only licenses, because a lot of guys have never driven standard and just won't have the capacity to drive a standard. Like me, like I got a standard here, but I mean, I've been doing it, like I've been driving standards my whole life, and 8 years driving semi. I guess 9. This will be 9. This coming up May or something. It'll be 9 years. Just about a decade. And just be careful. You got to watch other guys, right? And that's what I say, is like, I'm protecting other people from themselves. So I know people get excited, they drive by me like these guys are pulling off. It's 50 clicks along here. So I'm doing 50. They're trying to get up to the light. There's a car coming up there, so it's going to probably change. But they're rushing to get the light. But I don't care. first. And even with your testing, there's a lot of stuff in the testing that will never come up, really. But there's stuff in there you need to know. But I mean, I drove semis for years and years with no license growing up. And I had lots of standard cars. Z28 standard, Trans Am standard. I had a couple Trans Ams and a Mustang. Red light, red light. So there, like, I don't use clutch. Like when I'm downshifting, I don't use my clutch. I just get my RPMs to 1100 and then I shift. Oh yeah, this guy's loaded in the Aero truck. Or maybe not. He might just be slow. The light turned and took him 5 seconds to take off. Here we'll see, we're going up the hill here. This is Salmon Arm. Just past the Chevron there. I fueled that quite often when I was hauling fuel from Westcan. That's a hard little station to get into. Super tight. Toit, toit like a tiger. Gonna do? Well, I think he's unloaded. If he was loaded, he'd be going slower. Chip truck in front of me. That's something I've never done and I never want to do. The industry's way too volatile. The lumber industry, especially now with all the tariffs in the States. Not selling as much lumber as they used to. Set at 70. Oh, got a red light. That's the craziest. Whenever it's green all the way, this is always a red light up here. Sawmill is. That's probably where he's going. And goes to 100 clicks there. Trying to set my cruise control. There we go, 90. You hear the clicking in the background. Click, 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 click. this is the place to speed because you've got a big downhill. Red light. It's going yellow. Yellow, yellow, red, green. I always watch the side light there. See when it's going to change. Got a ministry vehicle beside me. Ministry of Highways. Oh, now I gotta get back to 90. There we go. Sun slowly coming up. See all the outlines of the mountains. We'll see coming up here. There's after Canoe, there's Sicamous is the next town, and then 500. It's 4 lanes. There's 2 big long straight stretches of 4 lanes. They call it that because everybody races through there to try to get position. Malaqua 500. And you get vehicles ripping through there, 140 plus. So what I'm doing in this truck, I just deliver food. Today, I think I've got 12 deliveries today. So I just go to different restaurants, and I think I have 1 store that I go to. So we deliver all groceries and food to the restaurants. So it's like Uber, but in a big truck. I like the bulk food. I want to specifically stay in this industry because no matter what, people need to eat. No matter what happens with the economy and all the tariffs and all that crap, because America's going into a reset. They're in a recession right now, and they're like moments away from a depression that the likes of that nobody's ever seen. Because Trump and his administration are so incompetent and don't understand how finances work, because he's real estate. He doesn't understand how the global trade works, and what they call trade deficits aren't deficits. They're just some people buy more from the States and some countries sell more to the States. That's not a deficit. That's just that the States doesn't produce bananas and electronics and other stuff, so they have to import it. That's not a deficit, right? And so far as like Europe buying beef and cars and stuff, well, they don't need to buy cars. They have Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, Lada, all those other companies that build small vehicles. They don't need the big Escalades and all that. And beef, like the beef is illegal lots of places in Europe because of the steroids they use. Even in Canada, we don't have all those growth hormones like they do in the States. I mean, it's still here. Like they still immunize or vaccinate all the livestock, but they don't have a lot of the stuff that they have in the States, because the cleanliness is a lot worse in the States than Canada, and their food standards are really low, so they get away with a lot more than here. And that's why eggs were so expensive, because that avian flu sustains. And that's the dirty conditions, but also the temperature. It's a lot warmer there, so the viruses and other stuff thrive. Whereas in Canada, like right now, it's, I don't know what it is now, it's probably like 0 degrees or 1 below here. But, you know, pretty quick it's going to be 20, 30 below. Come December, through here, it's going to be 30 below and snow covered all over. Cold as all hell. So there's not many viruses living out in this area. Listening to Trump talk, he's so stupid. I don't know, MAGA, the right wing, like think, oh, he's sent by God, he's sent by God, and all this other stuff. He's like so pious, you know. He's cheated on every wife he's ever had. He's an adulterer. He worships money. He doesn't care about people unless you're rich. But the right wing MAGAs just love him. I don't get it. The evangelicals love him. I don't know. I mean, he's broken so many of the deadly sins. He puts money above everything. Money and power. But they love him. Canada here, we can't stand him. Some people like him. All the simple retards like him. One of my best friends from elementary school, he's a hardcore Christian. This Joe. And he loves Trump. And I'm trying to talk to him about it. I'm like, you're a Christian though. Like, why would you like someone like that? You know, if Jesus came up, they deport him, right? Because Jesus was Iranian, right? He's Jewish. Jewish are from Iran. They left Iran in the 6th century and wandered around until they settled in Jerusalem. But they're originally from Iran. They're all Iranian. And that's why they don't get along, is because they were fighting a war for control of Iran, of the tribes, and they lost and they had to leave. And so they've held a grudge since the 6th century. But getting back to the Americans, like a lot of them look at Christ as being white, brown hair, long hippie hair, and white. And he's not. You know, he's darker. He's Jewish. And he didn't like the Jews. He was mad at the Jews, and they're the ones that killed him. Got the Romans to kill him. And so the whole thing with the Bible, like, I'm First Nations Native, we had nothing to do with that. You know, we had nothing to do with any of that. That's all the Italians that got to answer for that. And nobody else. Nobody else is responsible but the Romans, Italians, and the Jews. The money lenders. Jesus was just a man. We got shaman back hundreds of years ago that had the same powers as Jesus. But the whites just wanted to control it. They signed treaties and then broke them all. They treated us like animals. They talk about Columbus Day is coming back. Well, we didn't discover anything. We were here for thousands of years. You know, we had the land of milk and honey. We had more than anything. You know, more than we needed, right? We never took more than we needed. And then the whites came and they just raped everything. Took all the fish, took all the lumber, took all the game. Right? And that's how the world is today. Everything's all messed up. It's not from natives. We took care of this country for thousands of years and kept it pristine. And the whites came and said, oh, we're taking everything. And then forced us on shitty little reserves way out in the middle of nowhere. Try to kill us off. Took all our kids away and put them in residential schools. Taught them the Bible and no skills, not how to survive in the world. And then beat them and fed them rotten food, and yeah, it was just bad time. Bad times up until 1960. That's when Native men in Canada could vote and own land. It was 1960. Previous to that, we weren't allowed to own land. So all the soldiers that went overseas to fight fascism in Europe and Asia, they came back and they bought property. And then a few months down the road, the Indian agent would knock on the door and say, hey, you know, you're breaking the law. In Canada, it was illegal for natives to own land or go past high school, hire a lawyer, drink. There was a bunch of stuff. Native men, they couldn't vote until 1960. And then Native women, 1965. So really, that wasn't that long ago. You know, we're talking 60 years. 65 years. Construction. They're widening the road here and putting in a bridge as well. And last summer, I think it was, this was closed for quite a while. A semi, I don't know, they think he fell asleep, but at the bottom, we're coming up to a hill. At the bottom of the hill, there's a bridge going over the river there. And he fell asleep and went over and died, went over the edge. Was closed for them to repair the bridge. And that's like the second or third time in 20 years a semi's gone over there. So now they're building a whole new bridge and adding a smaller one on a creek before the turn. And it's a bit of a hill, so if you're fully loaded, you got to go super slow at the top. You got to be doing, you know, 60 clicks at the top, 70 clicks at the top, because at the bottom you'll be doing 100. If you're fully loaded, your Jake won't hold you. And if you're on your brakes, you're going to burn your brakes out. Like, I never use my foundation brakes, my pedal brakes, like only at red lights and stuff like stop signs. I never use it on the road, never touch my brakes once, just by Jake. And that's automatic. As soon as you take your foot off the gas, the Jake kicks in. Oh, getting some sunrise. Sunny day. See though, up Malaqua there, where it's the 4 lanes, there's been a lot of fog lately. Lost internet again. Right in the mountain here. Here we are, road construction. Guy's got his 4-ways on. Oh, you got your 4-ways on, buddy. What's going on? Stop for a pee. Let's see. Oh, no, that's the ministry guy. 170. Then down to 50. Then at the end where the bridge is, it's 30. Where that guy went over. Downshifting, I don't use my clutch. I just pull it out of gear at whatever it is, 1400, and then I get my gas on. You gotta use your gas to downshift. So at 1100 RPMs, I get my gas up to, and then I just shift into that gear. No clutch shifting. Lots of times even upshifting, I don't use my clutch. I'll just use the RPMs. When you're downshifting, it's 1100, and when you're upshifting, it's 1800. And that's your sweet spot for shifting with no clutch. Straight ahead, the guy went straight off, took that whole guardrail off. That's the river down below. Took this whole guardrail out. That would have been one hell of a wake up. I mean, they don't know what happened. They're just guessing that he fell asleep. Could have just been driving too fast and heavy load and just couldn't make the corner and tipped her over driving too fast. Because you get that a lot all over BC. Alberta, well, all the way across too, like all the way across Canada you get it. It's just BC has mountains, whereas you don't have that in a lot of other places in Canada. You got the coastal range mountains, which are pretty steep, and then going up now where Revelstoke is, that's the western edge of the Rocky Mountains, and a lot of hills, a lot of heavy snow. Whereas you get heavy snow in the prairies, but it's all flat and straight. So if you're driving off the road, it's because there's a massive snowdrift. And it looks like the road, but it's not. Which happens here too. Sycamoose. Oh, don't pull up in front. It'll be my hood ornament. Sycamoose, and then from here it's Three Valley Gap, and then Revelstoke. There's a place here I've been wanting to stop at for quite a while now. It's called Dutchman Dairy, and they make their own ice cream and milk and eggnog and stuff there. It's really good. I'm really watching my sugar. First Nations native, like a lot of us are prone to diabetes, and I don't want to get it. I like my insulin in my kidneys. But I've got a thing for eggnog and ice cream. I don't buy it. I'll buy like eggnog a couple times a year. I really like it. And ice cream, I don't buy at all. Because if I buy a tub of ice cream, like I can't control myself. I'll like sit there and eat the whole tub. I love ice cream. Just love it. Tin Roof Sundae is my favorite. That's the one with the ribbons of chocolate, fudge, and the chocolate covered peanuts. Love it. So when I'm at the grocery store, I'll stop and I'll drool for a minute at the dairy case, and then I'll just move on. I can't buy it. Back up 80 and 100. Now we're getting up to the Malaqua 500. Around that hill in front of us is one passing lane, but it's not the Malaqua. Oh, that was a rough shift. Driving the speed limit, and I get it, I understand. I just don't change the fact I'm not speeding for anyone. Right where that truck is there was a semi in the ditch last month on the left side. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but maybe he was like avoiding a deer, because you see his right there. He went off right there into the ditch on the other side. You see his tire tracks there on the road. Skid mark. I don't know. That's so weird. But they had the road closed to pull him out for about 45 minutes. All the way through. I'm pretty sure this is like the natives took Lewis and Clark through here, so they were the guys that opened up the passage from through the Rockies, which the natives do. But you know how it is. White people got to discover everything that they didn't discover. brakes for no reason. He's not doing too bad. He's only driving on the fog line for half the time. Scared of that yellow line. Never be scared of the yellow line. Gentlemen, start your engines. We are now on the Malaqua 500. Actually not driving fast. One, two, three, four cars behind me. Sawmill, all the steam from the kilns, drying lumber there. It's all the steam coming out. At all today. Yes, it's too cold. Everything, the ground's frozen, frosty. Oh yeah, you see white on the grass. It's all frosted up. Well, I don't want to be behind this guy after the straight stretch. So he's gonna slow right down. Speed. I'll pass. There, it's full speed for me. Nice old Dodge. Oh, old guy. Barely holding on. Chip on my windshield. Of course, they won't fix it until they're forced to. Until it turns into a crack. And there's the Rocky Mountains. You can kind of see in the back of this one mountain, the little mountains in the valley there. That's the Rockies. That's the total west end of them. And we'll be moving in there pretty quick. The internet for the most part is good all the way running through, but there's spots up here where it gets spotty spots. Fresh snow on these hills. It snowed like crazy on Saturday and Sunday there up my way. alongside us. Really good fishing here. I fished here about 10 years ago. I came up here and did some fishing. It was awesome. Lots of salmon, lots of trout. That's the Malaqua supermarket we're passing. I haul fuel to that place quite often. Well, not quite often. Once a month. It's the only gas station between here and Revelstoke. BC Hydro on an expedition. It's a nice truck for hydro. When I was a kid, that was the biggest scam ever. BC Hydro was Crown Corporation, so that's owned by the government, by the Crown, by the whatever, the King of England owns it, right? So they privatized it, but when I was a kid, they sold shares in there called BRIC. It was BCRIC, and they called them BRIC shares. So every kid in elementary school below a certain age got shares. So I think I had like 2 shares in BRIC when I was in elementary school. And then when they're privatizing, they gave you an option to sell those shares. So those 2 shares I had, I got like 60 bucks for them, or 30 bucks each share. And then now, I think they're, I don't know what they are now. They're quite expensive now. If I'd have kept on to them, I'd probably have $1,000, but whatever. So when they privatized, but when I was a kid, they sold the shares because they said by the time I turn 19, BC Hydro will be paid off and everyone in BC will get free electricity. Like the corporation will be paid off. And so like, yeah. So lots of people bought shares and other stuff, and that was the deal. And then in the 80s, they privatized and sold it to a private company. And it turned into BC Hydro. It was stupid. So right now we could all have free electricity if they'd had kept it a Crown Corporation, government corporation. Some people don't understand. Canada is owned by the King of England, all of Canada, and the government is what they call a de facto government. It's just they basically just do the day-to-day. The King and his Privy Council, what they call the Privy Council, makes all the policy, and then the government just enforces it. And then the RCMP, or the tax collectors, the police. So that's why they give out traffic tickets and fines and other stuff, right? Because they gotta keep that revenue coming in. But a lot of people are like, oh no, Canada's a sovereign nation. No, it's not. It's always been owned by the king. When they first came to Canada, the king claimed everything east of the Rockies. So Alberta to Newfoundland he claimed. And he signed treaties with the natives to fight for him. So the Six Nations, the Iroquois and Mohawks, they all fought against the Algonquins and the Americans. And that's why Canada's Canada. If the natives fought for the Americans, this would all be America. But they fought signed is the Army is supposed to protect the natives, and they just never have. They broke that treaty. Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming on this ride through the mountains. I appreciate you keeping me company. See, we got a sign here. Revelstoke, 45 kilometers. Golden, 200, and Banff was 600. So in the winter time, like, I'm glad this is far east as I go, is Revelstoke on my runs. Golden, from Revelstoke to Golden, that's one hell of a drive in the winter time. There's a bunch of tunnels and super icy sections, and people just fly through there. Semis too. Semis are just flying through that area. Speeding. All the way to Revelstoke. There might be one spot where it kicks off for a minute. Telus has to make a deal with that, was it Starlink? All those satellites you see in the sky? Start piggybacking off the satellites. Then there will be 100% coverage. Here's, I've never been here. I always wanted to stop, but there's worm pools. It's not like a hot spring, they're like a warm spring right in here. It's a little tourist trap. Lots of places around BC where there's thermal vents, hot springs. Harrison down the coast is one of the most famous, and then East Radium, there's Radium hot springs east of here, and then the cusp is hot springs. So where we're going, Revelstoke, you go south. There's a ferry takes you across, and then it's about an hour to the cusp, and then there's a bunch of hot springs there. Oh, there's some fog we're moving into. spots you can find fossils. All this at one time was underwater thousands of years ago. You can find fossils. accident or something, or road construction. So there's cameras along here, and there are highway cameras. You can check those out on Drive BC, I think it is. You can watch the cameras. So there's someone watching those cameras right now, and they decide what the speed limit is. Maybe it's just because it's foggy. Here's Enchanted Forest. Little tourist trap on the right. Oh yeah, it's foggy. Crazy to think it's all blue skies up there. gotta use your brakes, buddy, especially on the corner. And this is Three Valley Gap. Big lake on the left. There's a chateau. This place is always backed up in the wintertime because they blast the ice off. So they got the gates that close there. And it's always like every second day with the heavy snow, they gotta dynamite all the ice off of these cliffs, and then they get the 966s and clear it off. It's FedEx guys. Slow mover. Got a passing lane coming up here. Gonna rock on him too. Revelstoke 16. Almost there. Why you brake? Don't brake, buddy. Just take your foot off the gas. Gassing it. Brake gas, brake gas, brake gas. I'm live. That was weird. That was the longest internet loss I've had in quite some time. Passing lane, old people passing me. trying on headphones, looking for a new set of headphones, and I took my shades off and I set them on the counter, and then I left the store and I got driving home and I was like, I left my shades there, but I was too lazy. I was already too far away to go back. I could have called them, got them to put them aside, but they're old, need a new pair anyways. Mountains of Rocky. I bet you that's why Stallone called his movie Rocky, because he came up here once to the Rocky Mountains. Oh, call him Rocky. He filmed First Blood up in Hope, which is 2 hours east of Vancouver. First Blood, the very first one, was filmed there. That was pretty cool. Love that movie. Right now it's a slow time for Revelstoke. It's right after tourist season and right before the skiers come. Oh, that's pretty looking, that mountain. right there, FedEx. Stop here and my last stop. I come back in to do this liquor store. Oh, gee. I'll hit the Gordon guy. Is he just getting here? Oh no. Oh, well, got a bit of a wait. Oh, he's leaving. Oh, he's leaving. Nice. Oh, look at that gold on the mountains there. Oh, it's so pretty. Before I had zoom on set up where I could zoom in, and I have to do that again on this camera. I gotta figure out the settings on this. You know what I mean, man? Back her in. Backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up. It's my dad, he taught me good. Gotta check that out. Auto-tune the news. Backing up. Alright. Wrap my head around this. What are we doing? Okay. What we got? Only 6 things. 2 produce, 2 grocery, 2 frozen. Everybody, it's been awesome spending some time with you. Let's see who the top fans are. Deo Celinda, Hanasar I2X, Bonnie Hen, and Pablo is in a cult. Pablo is in a cult. Liam Rerun 2783, EPXA Reverse AH, APTN Reverse NKOB, and some other stuff. Number 6, number 7, Hagu.9253, 8, Put UGED, PUTUGED, Ewerwan. Peter Cooper 9277, 10 Toby S 11 Cracker Ding Dong, hey Cracker Ding Dong, 12 Timothy Hughes 1772, 13 Echoes of Time Lover, 14 Won't Let You Down, 15 Truck Kun Korean symbols looks like. Jim Loves Canada, number 16. Canada loves you too, Jim. 17 Layla Aiken M3Z. Pup Daddy Juice, number 18. Pup Daddy's got juice for sure. Silence do no good. That's right, silence do no good. P in Peace 5175. Danny Pitt I Highway. Devil Apple WR6QN and Jack Danner and Greta /_garbage. Thanks for spending time with me. Hello everybody. I'm in Canada. I'm in Revelstoke, British Columbia right now. So I'm delivering bulk groceries to various places, restaurants in Revelstoke, and then back to Kamloops. So right now I've got, what do I got? Where's my sheet? Anyways, I got about 10 stops in Revelstoke, and then so Tuesdays and Fridays I drive to Revelstoke, and then from Kamloops, and then tomorrow I go to Blue River, which is north of Kamloops, and then Thursday I go to Cache Creek, and then Lillooet, which is east of Kamloops, or west of Kamloops, southwest, and then Fridays. So Tuesdays and Fridays I do Revelstoke, and that's where I am right now in the Rocky Mountains. Took me, basically it's hour 57, took me 2 hours from Chase. That's where I started the live stream, and that's about an hour east of Kamloops, British Columbia. Gotta do something about my eyebrows. Everybody's getting on me about it. I gotta cut my hair. Gotta get a real job. Cut my hair and get a real job. Anyways, thanks for spending time with me today. I appreciate it. If you like this content, like, subscribe, check out some of my shorts from before. I got some pretty cool ones on there. Thank you for spending time with me, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.